Welcome back, friends, to Ashes in the Past. History is filled with stories that are stranger than fiction, yet every one of them is true. Thank you for joining us as we uncover another remarkable journey through time. Thousands of years ago, long before electricity, computers, or modern laboratories, people built things that still challenge modern science. Not myths. Not legends. Real inventions. We can study them with today's most advanced technology. Yet some of them still cannot be fully recreated or completely understood. History teaches us that humanity always moves forward. But what if that isn't entirely true? What if some of our greatest achievements weren't surpassed, only forgotten? Today, we'll uncover 7 ancient inventions that continue to puzzle historians, engineers, and scientists alike. Together, they reveal one extraordinary question. Can human knowledge be lost? In 1900, sponge divers exploring a shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera recovered what appeared to be nothing more than a corroded lump of bronze. But when it was cleaned, something astonishing emerged. Inside were dozens of tiny, perfectly crafted gears. It looked like the mechanism of a sophisticated clock. Except it was over 2,000 years old. How could the ancient world build something so advanced? We'll come back to that. The Romans left behind another mystery. Their harbors, bridges, and temples have survived nearly 2,000 years, while much of today's concrete begins to fail within decades. Even more surprising, researchers have found evidence that Roman concrete can repair tiny cracks on its own. How did ancient builders create something modern engineers are still trying to understand? We'll uncover that secret soon. Then there were the legendary swords of Damascus. Celebrated for their incredible strength and distinctive flowing patterns, they became some of the most famous weapons in history. Yet the knowledge required to produce the finest blades eventually disappeared. The swords survived. The secret did not. These are only the beginning. Over the course of this documentary, we'll explore fire that burned on water, glass that changes color, iron that refuses to rust, and engineering feats so extraordinary that they continue to inspire debate. Each invention is a piece of a much larger puzzle. Because sometimes, history doesn't just lose civilizations. It loses their knowledge. For centuries, people believed the ancient world was technologically simple. The evidence suggested otherwise. Scientists decided to begin with one of history's most enduring materials: Roman concrete. Modern concrete is incredibly strong, but seawater slowly breaks it down. Bridges, piers, and seawalls often require expensive repairs after only a few decades. Yet along the coastlines of Italy, Roman harbors have endured relentless waves for nearly 2,000 years. Instead of weakening, some sections appear to have grown even stronger over time. The question was obvious. What did the Romans know that we didn't? Researchers carefully analyzed samples taken from ancient structures. The answer wasn't a mysterious ingredient. It was the way the ingredients reacted together. The Romans mixed volcanic ash, lime, and rock in a process that allowed seawater to trigger new mineral growth inside tiny cracks. Rather than spreading, those cracks could gradually seal themselves. It wasn't magic. It was remarkable engineering. Even today, scientists continue studying Roman concrete in hopes of designing longer-lasting, more sustainable building materials. If one forgotten recipe could survive for 2,000 years, what other knowledge had disappeared? One answer may have been carried on the edge of a sword. Damascus steel became legendary during the Middle Ages. Its distinctive flowing patterns were beautiful, but beauty wasn't what made the blades famous. They were prized for their combination of sharpness, toughness, and resilience, qualities that made them exceptional weapons for their time. For centuries, blacksmiths across Europe and Asia tried to reproduce them. None could reliably match the finest originals. Eventually, the traditional method disappeared altogether. Modern researchers studying surviving blades discovered an unusually complex internal structure, likely linked to the specialized crucible steel and forging techniques used by their makers. But one critical problem remains. The exact process was never written down in enough detail. When the craftsmen disappeared, their knowledge disappeared with them. If an entire manufacturing technique could vanish, what about something even more dangerous? A weapon so feared that its secret was protected at all costs. That mystery begins inside the walls of the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire faced enemies on every side. For centuries, its survival depended not only on soldiers and massive walls, but on a weapon unlike anything the medieval world had ever seen. It became known as Greek fire. Witnesses described streams of blazing liquid launched from ships, engulfing enemy fleets in flames. The most terrifying part was that throwing water on it often made the situation worse. The fire appeared to burn even on the surface of the sea. To those who faced it, it seemed almost supernatural. The empire guarded its formula as one of its greatest state secrets. Only a small number of trusted specialists were believed to know how it was made, and the knowledge was passed down under strict secrecy. Then, as Byzantine power declined, the secret disappeared with it. Historians have proposed many possible ingredients, but no surviving record reveals the exact recipe or the complete method used to deploy it. Another invention had survived only in stories. Its knowledge was gone. But while Greek fire remained hidden by design, another ancient mystery was hidden by the sea itself. Let's return to the object recovered from the shipwreck near Antikythera. For decades, it puzzled researchers. Then advances in X-ray imaging allowed scientists to look inside without taking it apart. What they discovered transformed our understanding of the ancient world. More than 30 bronze gears were packed into a device no larger than a shoebox. As researchers reconstructed its mechanism, they realized it wasn't just a collection of gears. It was an astronomical calculator. By turning a simple hand crank, the machine could predict the movements of the sun and moon, track lunar cycles, forecast eclipses, and even follow the timing of ancient athletic games. Nothing else of comparable mechanical complexity is known from that period. Its existence raised an uncomfortable question. If ancient engineers could build something this sophisticated over 2,000 years ago, how many other remarkable machines have simply been lost to time? And the surprises weren't over. The next invention looked almost ordinary, until light revealed a secret invisible to the naked eye. At first glance, the Lycurgus cup doesn't seem extraordinary. It's a beautifully crafted Roman glass cup from the 4th century, decorated with scenes from ancient mythology. For centuries, it was admired simply as a remarkable piece of Roman craftsmanship. Then someone noticed something unusual. Viewed under reflected light, the glass appears deep green, but when light shines through it from behind, it glows a brilliant translucent red. The same object, two completely different colors. Modern scientists eventually discovered the reason. Mixed into the glass are microscopic particles of gold and silver, so small they measure only billionths of a meter across. Today, we call them nanoparticles, and manipulating materials at this scale is a field known as nanotechnology. Whether Roman craftsmen fully understood the science behind the effect is impossible to know. But they clearly mastered a technique capable of producing it over 1,600 years ago. It was yet another reminder that ancient artisans often achieved remarkable results through generations of careful experimentation and skill. And then there was another material that seemed to defy nature itself. Standing in Delhi, India, is an iron pillar more than 1,600 years old. Rain has fallen on it. Humidity has surrounded it. Seasons have come and gone. Yet, unlike ordinary iron, it has resisted the severe corrosion that would normally reduce it to rust. Scientists believe its exceptional purity, high phosphorus content, and the formation of a thin protective surface layer all contribute to its remarkable preservation. Even so, the pillar remains one of the finest examples of ancient metallurgical expertise. By now, a pattern was becoming impossible to ignore. The Romans mastered concrete that endured for millennia. Ancient smiths produced steel whose finest methods disappeared. The Byzantines protected a weapon so secret it vanished with their empire. Greek engineers built an astronomical computer centuries ahead of its time. Roman artisans created glass with optical properties that still fascinate scientists. Indian metalworkers forged iron that has withstood the passage of time. Different civilizations, different centuries, different technologies. Yet they all point toward the same conclusion. Ancient knowledge could reach astonishing heights, but it wasn't guaranteed to survive. And nowhere is that lesson more breathtaking than in the greatest engineering achievement of the ancient world. More than 4,500 years ago, the ancient Egyptians built monuments so immense that they still dominate the horizon today. The Great Pyramids of Giza were constructed from millions of stone blocks, some weighing several tons. Many were transported over long distances, then positioned with extraordinary precision. For centuries, people have wondered how this was possible without modern cranes, engines, or steel machinery. Archaeologists have uncovered important clues. Evidence suggests that skilled workers used carefully planned quarries, sledges pulled over wetted sand, ramps, levers, and meticulous organization to accomplish what once seemed impossible. While researchers continue to debate the exact methods used for every stage of construction, there is broad agreement on one point. The pyramids were not miracles. They were the result of exceptional engineering, planning, and generations of accumulated expertise. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Every invention we've explored, from Roman concrete and Damascus steel to Greek fire, the Antikythera mechanism, the Lycurgus cup, and the iron pillar of Delhi, was created by people working with the knowledge available in their own time. Some of that knowledge was carefully guarded. Some was never written down. Some disappeared when empires fell, trade routes collapsed, or skilled craftsmen passed away without successors. The objects remained. The methods did not. History is often told as a story of constant progress, where each generation knows more than the last. But these inventions remind us that progress is not guaranteed. Knowledge must be preserved, shared, and passed from one generation to the next. Otherwise, even humanity's greatest achievements can become mysteries. The next time you walk through an ancient ruin, stand beneath a towering monument, or look at an artifact behind museum glass, remember this. You're not just looking at what our ancestors built. You're looking at what they knew. And somewhere between their world and ours, some of that knowledge was lost.